to relegation, and that will be painful for the people of the North. Team region last season were relegated. Real Tamale United have also officially been relegated from the Ghana Premier League. And let's see what happens with Karela, the only glimmer of hope for people of the North. Let's see how it goes for them. They will be playing tomorrow. They will be taking on Samatex to see if they can stay in the league. But it has ended 2-0 in favor of Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko. And that result, as I told you, means that Real Tamale United have been relegated. Accra Lions also beat Dreams FC by a goal to nil, and we'll be talking about that one as well. Real Tamale United in the game did not look like a side that would give Kumasi Asante Kotoko troubles, and the second half was the same. It followed suit as the first half was, and it was Kotoko who were the better of the two sides and managed to get 2 goals in the end. Peter Akwamedu and of course Ben Asomwa, who replaced Kalu Ouattara, giving Kotoko that all-important win. And the win also means that Asante Kotoko cement their status in the league for the season. My name is Mutala Yakubu, still here with Josiah and of course Nane. Josiah, nothing really changed in the second half. Rather, it was Kotoko that upped the tempo of the game, and they were rewarded with 2 goals.
Yeah, Mutala, and I think it's a very, very sad day for football in the northern part of Ghana, to see one of the traditional sides we have in the Premier League go down again. It's just not good enough, and now that played some sizable amount of pressure on Kaila United for them to try and remain in the league going into their game against Samatex tomorrow. And I think per the results that was shown on the screen a couple of minutes ago, Dreams are also in the dogfight, which makes it even more interesting and more intense. For RTU, we just bid them farewell. Back down there, it's not really easy in the Division 1. It's very, very competitive, and it's teams that go. We've hardly seen teams go and just return one season after. It's very, very difficult. Usually the average number of seasons it takes these teams is 3 to 4 seasons for them to go and come back again. So we just wish them well down there, as they prepare for life in the Division 1 for the 2024-2025 season. And for my assessment about the game, I think Kotoko didn't even really play at the level we expect them to play. This is not the best Kotoko side I've seen, and they came up against an RTU side that were not really willing to play. It looks like
I saw a demotivated RTU side. They didn't look like they were really interested in going for the kill.
Even listening to what the coach said prior to the commencement of the game, he spoke about the fact that they are going to work hard in the Division 1 next season. So you can hear, if the coach even comes up to say, that means even between the players and the coaching staff, they've already conceded that they were going to get relegated, and that was what happened on the day. Sometimes football is a psychological game, if I should put it. Sometimes what you think about, what you see coming, what you sometimes think about throughout is what you do on the pitch. It looks like they've been thinking about Division 1 and not really willing to go down, putting up a fight. So for Kotoko, it was a well-deserved victory. Coming into the game, the coach was speaking about the fact that they had to travel 12 hours all the way to Narilugu to play this game, and they might feel a bit tired and all that. But yes, there were signs of tiredness amongst the Kotoko players, but they came up against a very I'd say depleted RTU side that didn't have the likes of Mankueli, Uswefriye, Baba Kushibo and all that. So let's say congratulations to Kotoko, but for RTU, we just wish them all
now,
the best.
Now, to the demeanor of the play, even from the for the kill, was Kotoko that up the tempo of the game a bit in the second half. To that two
game, RTU was not out of the Ghana Premier League. We are listening for them the 40 points mark to boost their chance of even surviving or not. But I think they did their best, but their best was not enough to play in the Ghana Premier League next season. That is why we are seeing Tamale United going back to the Division 1. Looking at Kotoko's play today, I told you earlier on before the second half that Kalu Ouattara is the missing link in the Kotoko team in the first 45 minutes. They will need a movement striker. They will need a striker who will move into spaces and receive passes from the attacking midfielder. So, right, they brought in Bernard Soma I was talking about right up in the second half, and he made a trick for them. He was the reason why the two central defenders for RTU were a little bit shaky in the second half, and it looks like pushing Peter Aminuaka to the left side, cutting into his right foot was the best thing for Kotoko in the second half, and Babayaya cutting in from the right side to join the attack is also helping the Asante Kotoko team. So I think it was a good performance in the second half, a performance that deserved the maximum 3 points, and I'm happy so much to win 3 points.
Of course, we will take our time and look at the 2 goals that Asante Kotoko scored. First from Peter Akwamido, and the second goal being scored by Bernard Somo. I'm sure today is a this is well work Kotoko Josiah.
Yeah, and it's always been about the dominance, in the middle of the pitch. Kotoko totally dominated that midfield battle between themselves and RT, and you could see how easy it was for them to penetrate. There was no pressure on the players that were advancing the ball for Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko, and it looks like this is just a one-man party over there. But I think RTU didn't really come to the party, because look at the distance Enoch Morrison had to travel with that ball, and just splitting the defense with just a single pass. And the defensive centre-back pairing of RTU today hasn't really worked for me. It looks too weak, and shambolic sometimes, a bit lacking energy and also coordination. And it was a very, very good finish from Peter Amidu Akwa, just trying to lean back a bit to cut himself open and just finesse that into the right bottom corner. I would give credit to Enoch Morrison for the way he played today. He's really pulled the strings for Kumasi Asante Kotoko deep and also in the attacking third. He's been the man they've looked up to. In the absence of Richmond Lamte, you'd be asking who can do it for them. Eric Zeze is a good player. He's a very skillful player. He's not the best passer, but he's a ball carrier, someone who can carry the ball. But sometimes he over elaborates, and that has been his weakness. And I think Morrison, despite Kotoko having an average season, has been one of the brightest players for them this season. You'll be hoping that next season he could increase his minutes and also his output. But it was just far too easy for Kotoko for that first goal. No pressure at all in midfield.
Remember that the Ghana Premier League on Star Times at the patch channel 247 is brought to you by High Sense Midimafo Herbal Clinic, JB Fresh, and of course Max Abai. The second goal was also scored by Bernard Somoa, and I was wondering how he found himself alone, one-on-one with the goalkeeper with no RTU defender around him. It started from the back, the likes of Justice Blay putting passes together.
I always tell you that that Bernard Somoa guy is a quality player. And so when there are enough opportunities and chance in the Kotoko team to play more games, but I know he's a very good player. Only anytime you an opportunity, he can do a lot for the club, and I'm not really surprised. Getting a full 45 minutes in a game against RTU like this, he was able to score a goal. In the 9 much more than most of these players on the field. In fact, apart from Stephen Desimokwara, who will be at the 9 in the Kotoko team is Bernard Somoa. He's a better goal scorer than the rest of the strikers in the Kotoko team. So chance na only enough in the team. And I think today, in the full 45 minutes that he played in the second half, which may show the quality to the coach, they can rely on him. By next season, who are mature as a player, Omunya good pre-seasoner, we'll see the best out of Bernard Somoa. The only thing is they will need some quality players to help some of these players bring the best out of them. So it's a good result and a good performance from Bernard Somoa.
So the statistics showed that RTU were heading towards the wrong direction, because prior to this game they had conceded 50 goals. They've now conceded 52 goals, the most in the division. Let's go back to the Sheriga Stadium and have a listen to the two managers after the game.
Tough game it has been. You were looking forward to at least securing a victory at home, but the ideas.
Yes.
Are you disappointed at the output of your?
No, in all the game. With the mind of winning the game. Mind of the game, we played well, and when we came back, we couldn't continue with the energy. So definitely it has to go against us. But going forward, I think it was a nice game.
Most, if not all, of your fans home traveled, made the journey from Tamale to Nalerigo today to see the team play.
Yeah.
I see a few uncomfortable. I feel a few bad faith. Do you have for these fans of Real
Yeah, I
Tamale
think
United?
what I will have for them is to give them the hope that we are going out now, but next Allah we are coming back to Premier. So they should keep supporting the team, and we'll give them the best of us all.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations. The last couple of matches away for Kotoko has not been that comfortable. Elated at a 2-0 result today, I guess.
Yeah, I think we needed to win at all costs. So they all saw the need to double up their effort, so that necessary results.
Okay, one of before the was whether after the long journey, and again, I think you were impressed with their performance. It wasn't that bad, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't. I think they were able to move a lot, which was okay. And then fortunately to the sun, the temperature came down, so
Yeah.
it was okay for us.
Okay, so moving forward, you've got one more hurdle before the season lowers its curtains, and you have already mentioned some of the ideas that you're looking forward to. But obviously, the last game is a 90-minute game, and again, the points are very necessary.
Yes, we need to go all out because that will be the last game, and it will be at home. We need to let the fans go home with something that is refreshing in their minds. So we need to go all out and make sure that we play good quality football and also get the results.
Any reassuring message to your fans before we say a final goodbye?
Yeah, I think they've been very supportive so far. Since we started telling them to be very supportive, they've been very supportive. Next week Sunday the season will end. We still need their support, and then after the season we'll have to sit down and then make sure that the necessary adjustments are made to make sure that the team becomes better next season.
Coach, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lukman. You have been voted the most valuable player of this game. How do you feel?
Oh, I'm much happy. I'm very happy.
You're very happy.
Yes, please.
You played a game against Asante Kotoko, a game that we could see from the performance of the players that you were ready to go all out, despite the fact that it could probably be your last home match this season. Were you disappointed?
Yeah, like we start from our last training. Our coach told us that we need to win this match, and we lost it. So I'm disappointed.
And the disappointment, is it that heavy that not only are you disappointed,
Yeah,
not only did you lose, but you're also going away into Division 1?
That's why I say, like, as you see the match, like as I told you earlier on, I said from Monday, our last training, how we train and the way the coach spoke to us, even the coach is disappointed. So
the disappointment has also come to
yes,
the players.
it has affected
Okay,
us.
but at least the MVP for you is some source of motivation.
Yeah.
I see. What should we expect from Lukman? It may be the end of the season, but it definitely is not the end of your career. What should we expect from you?
It has left with our 2 matches, so unless we finish,
We can only wish you the very
Prince, wishing RTU the best, but RTU will be playing in the Division 1 of the Ghana League next season. Not really good for them. Is the lower tier as far as the Ghana Premier League is concerned, just a place below the Ghana Premier League. That is where they will be playing, and they will be fighting to qualify back to the Premier League. So it's official, RTU and Bofuakwa Tano have been relegated from the Ghana Premier League. Now, who joins the two? Is it Karela? Is it Great Olympics, Hearts of Lions, Heart of Folk, or even Dreams FC? I'm sure maybe any Gold Stars are also not completely out of the woods, so we'll get to find out before the final match day, which would be next week. But this is sad for the people of Northern Region. They could lose Premier League football if Karela should also go down, Josiah.
That's how sad the situation is for them. And last season, both Archie and also Tamale City, who were in the season or the division last season, they came close and ended up been relegated. RTU, managed to narrowly escape, but this season it looks like, well, whatever was hunting them last season came back this time, and they couldn't find answers to the questions that was being asked. It's quite unfortunate if you're in the northern part, of Ghana, and every weekend you'd hope that at least one of the teams will play at home, and one Premier League side will come visit. And if it's not hard to forget it, Diana, it's Accra, Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko, PBN Gold Stars, you kind of enjoy it, but for them to lose, out you to go back again, it's going to be very, very tough for them, because every now and then the teams down there are also trying to put things in place. They are trying to improve so that they can play or qualify for the Ghana Premier League. So for RTU to go back, it just doesn't look good for football in the northern part. Now it's up to Kaila United. There's pressure on them. RTU has left, and Kaila now, I'm playing tomorrow against the champions, that's Samatex. It's going to be very, very difficult. But I believe the people in the up north will just, give their blessings and to see both teams, miss out on the Premier League next season. At least after RTU going, they would hope Kaila will stay.
Of course. And you lost a Tamale last year. It's all danger of being relegated, and they could start next season without Premier League football.
They had their own issues, See, Kasama, they both team no Accra. It got to a time they were struggling. I remember one of their games in the Ghana Premier League. They were traveling from Tamale to Pandu to play Pandu House of Lions. Their budget was somewhere around 17,000 Ghana cedi. Before the game, even struggling to raise. The car was around Tamale magazine. To even get somewhere around 3,000 Ghana cedi to go for the car, it got to a time it was difficult for RTU. So Nasi Kasama be a major problem for the club. They started well. Remember their game against House of Folk. That game, a free say they winning goal for them. You remember that game?
That was game one.
Game one. I remember, ACB, Michael Ampedu, and all these players in the House of Folk team, and Richard Atta. So a free scored the only goal. So people thought RTU team, even though they were struggling, they sold almost about 70% of their players last season to teams. Nurudin of Asante Kotoko was part of the team last season, and Isakuka and staff, they were all part of the team last season. So people thought the team could come good going forward. But Sikasem be an issue for the club. So I'm not really surprised in the discussing team moment to join Division 1 and I'm more against now to his part. Personally, I don't think they didn't prepare. I think they didn't prepare themselves very well for this particular season in Ghana Premier League because of the kind of things they were going through in the course of the season. Better luck next time. Maybe some of these big politicians could help them from Division 1 and come back into the Premier League. But personally, I think I'm not really surprised RTU is going back to Division 1.
So RTU going back to Division 1, their last 5 games at home saw them win 3 and lose 2, but it was too little too late. They had the win against Nations FC. They lost to Nswatraman by 2-1, beat Samatex and beat Legon Cities, but then they have lost to Asante Kotoko. But let's talk about Kotoko. It hasn't been a good season for them. It is all but confirmed they are staying in the league for next season. I'm sure their fans would take solace from the fact that they are not battling relegation anymore, but it was a very average season for them.
They would always boast on the fact that regardless how difficult the season has been, regardless how challenging it's been for them, they are never close to the bottom. They are never ever close to that relegation fight over there. And just look at where they lie in the top half of the table. That's until some other teams also get to play. Maybe they could drop back again, but with 46 points, it's we wouldn't say it's that bad. Just look at between themselves and second place Accra Lions. That's about just 5 points between them. That tells you how competitive the league has been this season. That's not what we've known Kotoko, to do. These are the winners of the Premier League 3 seasons ago. They are 24-time GPO winners, and they are the giants, or one of the giants in Ghana football. So a lot is expected, of them. And for the Kotoko fans, maybe they would know that the season's over, but they would also hope that right after the season ends, they'll have to put everything, into preparing for next season. That loss against Great Olympics was a shocking one, but it's a good way to bounce back. Once you give away 3 points at home, you go away and you just grab it back, and that's the win against RTU. Considering one against Olympics, scoring twice against RTU, yeah, it's good. But the fans will be hoping for something better next season. They wouldn't want to go 7-game, on a 7-game losing streak. It's not something synonymous, with Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko. We've known them to be a team that goes on a 15-game unbeaten streak, not a 7-game losing streak. And you can see their last 5 away games. This is the first away win they've had in the last 5. Draw at Bichim, a loss to Dreams FC at Deu, drawing 1-1 in Takwa against Mediamam, and then that loss again in the dying embers of that game against Bekum Chelsea at the Bekum Golden City Park. It's a good way to end the season. At least their last game of the season will be at home, but to win on the road, I think it's just a good game for them.
Nanedu Asante Kotoko finishing the season strongly after that meeting with Opimswo. Things began to turn for them, to take a new turn for them. But what do you think has been the bane of this Kotoko team throughout the season?
I don't think it's really a good season for Asante Kotoko. They can do better.
You predicted they were going to win the league at the start of the season.
Yes, I was tipping them as one of the favorites to win the Ghana Premier League, but due to some issues that went on in the course of the season within the club, playing body, the head coach, we got to a time take you up and so by inside to speak to some of these players to change things within the club. Personally, in Penifo Kotoko team, they know their problem. They know what went wrong in the course of the season. They should find solutions.
Is it that the personnel are not good enough? The materials that Prosper Nate Ogum had were not top notch to, at least challenge for the title.
Talent is not bad, but it's not good enough. Personally, that is why the coach, even before the start of the game, can't say they'll have to change. Recruit from all angles. It means I'll not be surprised we may see close to 10 players or even more than 10 players coming in before next season. Or they know they will need quality to compete next season. Good players will, right from the goalkeeping department, all the 3 goalkeepers are quality players. On paper, it's not bad, but it's been a bad season, so you need to make way for some of these players to leave the club and bring in new players who can challenge for the Premier League title. 2 continuous seasons now, a team like Kotoko, you are not competing for the Premier League. It can't continue for the 3rd season. So, right from the leaders of the club, they need to make things happen and make sure they come back to their winning ways. The Kotoko that we used to know previous years ago is not the same Kotoko. They have their own issue. Personally, Prosper Nteogum is not a bad manager, but due to what went on in the course of the season, personally, I'll be surprised if he continues as a head coach for Asante Kotoko next season.
Why would you be surprised?
That is why I'm saying he's not a bad coach as a person. But due to what happened in the course of the season, it got to a time, I see a free team no Mensia or Pimso have to speak to the players individually to make sure that they will revive things in the club to get the result we were looking for. That is why they came back, won the game against Samates. It means there is something going on between the playing body and the technical team that was not working for them. So your team manages situation when you are both season area. Why do you maintain the coach? That is my personal opinion. You don't maintain such a coach or now about this kind of issues. It got to a time the club was struggling. You sacrifice him, bring in a new coach to start afresh. So if the coach is leaving, personally, I think most of the backroom staff need to follow. Your personnel be within the technical team. They need to move on for people to come in. Me personally, I think Ohini Brenya is enough for him. They can bring in a different team manager to come and help. There are people within the technical team. There's no clue. You should move to a Prosper Nteogum. They didn't help matters for Kotoko this particular season. They were not consistent in player selection. And in the course of a season, when team is struggling, you see it right from player selection. No consistent play, and they were able to watch, and we have about 3. In this particular season, Kotoko, you saw more than 3 left back for the season. Nicholas Osebonsuna in the second one was a little bit consistent. John Tedeku Bobi, Enoch Morrison Bobi. So they were not consistent in, positioning of players on the field of play. Say player when they bought this particular position, when they bought at first went back at when Kotoko right back in here, Kotoko left back in here. All the goalkeepers at that game in the course of the season. In the second one, that is where we saw Freddy Kasari being a little bit consistent. In the central defense, they started Henry Ansu, Nuruddin Mohammed. Later on, Justice Blake Beshemu. Later on, they went to the back today. It means there's a major problem within the team. Sharif Mohammed started the season for them. Later on, Andrew Sintimenu came in. It was with Malante. Later on, Enoch Morrison. I understand sometimes injuries may affect performance. But personally, I think Prosper Neto Ogum as a professor on what in Hudia, there's a situation on him. So we're not a very good season for Kotoko. He came the previous one. So me, you know, personally, me sacrifice it by leaving the club for somebody to come in. But then you are being sick or situation of fame. Personally,
you think Prosper Neto Ogum should be sacrificed? I mean, for me, I sit here and look at the Asante Kotoko team, and I feel the quality could have been a bit higher. I don't think they have enough quality as compared to Prosper Neto Ogum's first season where he had the likes of Imbela.
I think it would be unfair to lay the blame on the doorsteps of the head coach, and you forget to touch on what happened to the previous administration and how they were able to transition to where they are currently. Football is not only being played on the pitch. Points are won on the pitch. But to prepare to win points, sometimes you have to do some, in the boardroom. You don't always win on the pitch. If looking at what Prosper Neto Ogum even did in his first season, should tell you that he's a coach, whom would guide any team at all to the title. He has what it takes. His qualities are undoubted. Whatever he brings to the table is so clear, glaring for you.
Was it this season he labeled some of the players as politicians?
Yeah, because once he went wait. Once he went and came back, things have changed at Kotoko. He went right after winning the season, came back, and tell me within those 2 seasons, it was the same thing at Kotoko. They had lost leaders, they had lost quality players. How many players did Kotoko lose after winning the league? They lost a couple of them.
Almost the entire team gone.
Where's Richard Wedu?
Agadas is somewhere in Libya.
Where is the striker in Bella? He won the league.
He went
with
to Egypt.
So that's one aspect. Now talk to me about the technical team or the IMC. First, I think it was they had was it the chairman?
They had the board.
It got dissolved. That they went in for
wiped off.
Yes, they went in for an interim management committee. An interim.
But they lasted the entire season.
So that's not interim.
Technically, they've lasted the
yes,
entire
because that's,
season.
you don't call it interim when you're trying to just do a quick fix. An interim is on a short-term basis. They went for an interim, and just tell me about the formation of that interim management committee. Where is Kwesi Appiah?
He's the coach of the Tsunami.
Where is he kindly? You get it. So it's just unfair for you to say. Yeah, Kotoko fans will feel a lot has happened. In the season he won the league with Kotoko, talking about Prosper Neto Ogum, he had leaders in the team. The Brazilian was there with them. They had a Cameroonian. They had a couple of expatriate players that helped them, and they were leaders from the goalkeeping department.
You're talking about Fabio Gama.
Fabio Gama. Yeah. From the goalkeeping department to the attacking department, we're full of leaders. Tell me it's the same situation with Kotoko currently. He came in and thinks the culture of the club had changed within 2 seasons. After he won the league and went, he came back and everything in the club has changed.
One of the things I feel affected the Kotoko team was the dip in form of Richmond Lamptey and his absence at a point.
That's one
together with Sheriff.
And it's unfair. Talk to me. Hearts of Oak at some point we're missing Otanga, and every single time Otanga doesn't play for the club, you can feel his absence.
Yeah.
And that's how key Richmond Lamptey and Mo Sharif have been to this Kotoko setup. They were arguably the best football playing side in the league in the first round because they were playing with a 3-back. How many teams in the league play with a 3-back system and get even playing better than playing with a 4-back system? They were the only with Justice playing as the right centre back. They had Nuruddin play as a left centre back, and Henry Ansu playing as a centre back. And they were playing so well. And the dynamism with which they play, that's what I'm saying. Give any other team to Prosper Neto Ogum, and trust me, you win the league. What is happening to Kotoko go beyond what's on the pitch. They have quality players. Today we saw the quality, and Naled was attesting to the fact that he believes Somoa is one of the best players they have.
Yeah.
Why is he one of the best players? Doesn't he have the quality? Didn't we see Peter Midwakwa? Isn't he good enough?
Yeah.
Didn't we see Enoch Morrison? Is he not good enough? Justice Blake has won the league with Koto. He's not good enough. These players are quality players. Nuruddin is a quality player. Henry Ansu is a quality player. But Mutala, sometimes when you need stability in your team, it goes beyond just the coach and the players. And I believe Kotoko fans will agree that just look at the local scene. How many coaches are better than Prosper Natiogo? It's a simple question you can ask yourself and answer.
Just a few.
Just a few. No, very, very few. He's one of the title-winning coaches in the last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Boedu is one. He is one.
Maxwell Kunedu is one.
I'm even talking about the last 4 seasons.
Oh, the last 4 seasons, okay.
These are the only coaches to have won the league in the last 4 seasons. How many of them are better? Can you say is better than the coach we are talking about? So Kotoko fans should just be patient. They need to fix the IMC first. Fix the board. Get someone to be in charge. So when a question is being asked, you have someone to answer. If you look at Prosper Natiogo's position right now, and you can't tell he's part of the IMC.
Yeah,
right?
he's part of the IMC.
And he's a coach. Who questions him?
So he's overseeing the running of
Where's the bureaucracy? Where is it?
Activities of the club.
There is no structure.
And he's also the head coach.
There is no structure. See, Kotoko fans should go beyond we want 3 points. We want to win. No. They should look at the structure of the club.
So you
one
feel,
thing the fans should be crying about.
Once the IMC were in place, at least the board should have been formed before the season ends.
You go for an interim coach and he lasts the entire season. You are telling me results are not coming, and that's where the problem is. Anything interim shouldn't last that long. We thought it was a quick fix. In 3 months' time, they were just going to get the structures in place. Now they leave the whole thing, and the coach is just there to suffer. Just look at how he's suffering. And any other coach, I think he's even done his best. Because some coaches would have even failed with what was going on in Koto.
Nanedu doesn't think he's done his best.
Come on, be honest with yourself.
You think he could have done more?
What could he have done?
Do you think he could have done more?
Personally, I think he could have done more.
But at the point, he was even having issues with the players where he labels some of them as politicians.
I didn't want to go deep about the issues.
It didn't happen in the first thing.
No, it didn't happen.
So why are you not asking yourself those questions?
That is why I didn't want to go deep into the Kotoko issues. But I'm saying all the Kotoko supporters who are watching me,
the likes of
Nidako, they know what they went through this particular season.
And what did they go through?
About to the end of the season. They should use the next 1 month to solve all those issues before they move for their pre-season. One is coaching. Technical team.
You think they should do away with the coach?
Personally, that is my issue.
Okay. So he has to live with the
They should form a new technical team.
A new technical team?
Oh, yeah.
Not just the head coach?
Not just the head coach.
So the likes of Oklu would have to
should move. Personally, the team manager, Ohini Brenya, should move. That is my personal opinion.
Okay.
They should change the entire technical team. That is my opinion. Number 2, they need to sign or recruit new players before they move for the preseason.
And Kalu Momonye.
Very important.
I know
on my pencil down some names. They have about 12 names they are looking for.
Kwabno Usu says he's joining Kotoko at the end of the season.
Kwabno Usu is one of them. I know they've contacted Baby Gold Stars. They want him. I know they want Saka Dauda of Bofakwa. I know there's a certain goalkeeper in Bofakwa team. They want him. One of the players Kotoko is looking up to sign. I know they want one defensive midfielder in Samates. Dauda Seidu. Maybe it will be difficult for them to get him. That is one defensive midfielder they are looking for a service. I know Asante Kotoko is looking for Emmanuel Entry of Great Olympics.
So you think they need quality players?
They need some players. But the most important thing is you set up your new technical team. The guy was talking about how many coaches are better than Prosper Natiogo. We have more than 10 coaches who are better than Prosper Natiogo in this country.
If you can give me even 5 names, I would be super grateful with you. To you, give me just 5 names of coaches who are better. You think are better than Prosper Natiogo. One he is with his Waterman. Okay, so Maxwell Kunedu, I'm listening to them.
Amadou
Nuruddin. Okay,
is better than what Prosper Natiogo.
Yeah. I'm just listening to them. I just want to listen to them. So Maxwell Kunedu, Amadou Nuruddin, Augustine Adote.
Yes.
Okay.
Is he currently a coach?
Okay, he's now the technical director of
coach. He's not
Mediema.
even a coach.
So Maxwell Kunedu, Nuruddin Amadou, Augustine Adote, Didi Dramani. Okay, but Didi Dramani is handling one of the national teams, right?
Yeah, so he's not Black Galasic.
Okay, so Didi Dramani. I'm sure you add. And you think Kotoko have the pool power, so they can bring any coach?
Local coaches.
Yeah. Okay, so it's left with one name. I just want 5. Bashir Effort.
Yes, he's better than
Heart of Lions. Yes. Is better than Prosper Natiogo.
Yes, obviously.
Wow. But Bashir Ford has been struggling with
apart from the coaches I mentioned, Amadou Nudin, he has won the league this season.
Yeah.
So he's better
Bashir Ford have won Ghana Premier League before.
Of course.
Augustin Adote have won the Ghana Premier League before.
Yes, he has.
Master Klodio have won the Ghana Premier League before.
Yeah.
Adwedu.
Sika Kono is a better coach than Prosper Netogun.
So this is where we draw the curtains. I won't go further with this. Danedu is saying personally he thinks Sika Kono is a better coach than coach. you let's go through you let's go through the results and the fixtures for Matchday 33 of the Ghana Premier League. Accra Lions beat Dreams by a goal to nil. Kumasi Asante to get to the 2-0 victory over RTU. Tomorrow it is Adriana against Swatchaman. Maybe the Gold Stars against Mediema. We have Bofo Aqua taking on Brekum Chelsea. Heart of Lions will face off with Legon Cities. We have 2 games to show you live on your screens. Tomorrow, Karela United will face Samatex at 3 p.m. Then we have another game at 6 p.m. I'll tell you about that. But Nations FC will also take on Bichim United. Then tomorrow at 6 p.m. it is Heart of Folk against Great Olympics. I think is the biggest game of the match week there because both teams need 3 points to move away from the relegation zone. So tomorrow we'll be bringing you Karela against Samatex at 3 p.m. Then we move straight to the Accra Sports Stadium to bring you that game between Heart of Folk and Great Olympics. There, this is how the standings are currently. Samatex leading the pack. They've already won the league. They are 58 points. Accra Lions are second with 51 points. Indiana, they are third with 49 points. Mediema also have 49 points and are fourth on the table. Nations FC are fifth with 48 points. Bichim United, they lie sit with 47 points. Brekum Chelsea also have 47 points and are seventh. Asante Kotoko, they are eighth with 46 points. And Swatchaman are ninth with 46 as well. That is the top half of the table. Let's look at the other half of the table. So the other half of the table has Legon City sitting 10th with 44 points. Baby Any Gold Stars are 11th with 43 points. 12th is Dreams FC who are 42 points. Heart of Folk have 41 points and are 13th. They will be playing tomorrow against Great Olympics. Heart of Lions are 14th with 41 points. Olympics, they lie just a place above the relegation zone. They are 15th with 40 points. Karela will need to win their game tomorrow at all costs against Samatex. They are 16th with 40 points. But for Akwatano and Real Tamale United have both been relegated from the Ghana Premier League. So that is how things are shaping up. So on that note of Sika Kono being a better coach than Prosper Nateogum, according to Nanedu's gospel, we call it a rap year.
It's the best option for me if Kotoko is looking for a new coach for the club.
Well, I'm sure Sika Kono is home and watching. So Josiah, Sika Kono to Kotoko, that is what Nanedu is proposing.
Well, no, they're on a project, so they need to be patient and stick to the right people.
And the right people, that is Prosper Nateogum.
He's proving to be the right man, even in this first season.
Well,
the Football Association is bringing something out,
which is
mandatory 1 month to rest for every player who participated in 2024 Premier League or Division 1 or every football activity in this country. A mandatory 1 month rest. So Asante Kotoko as a football club should use that 1 month to do all the recruitment. Technical team before they start their preseason, especially before they travel outside the country. Because I understand to move for their preseason. Well, they should do all these things before they move out.
Let's see how that one goes. Thanks to Nanedu, thanks to Josiah Okokwe. My name is Mutalai Akubo. RTU have been officially relegated to the Division 1 of Ghana football. So they will not be in the Premier League next season, and that is a sad one for the people of the Northern. What happens with them? They will be playing the Samatex and they need a win to also ensure that they stay in the league next season. Thanks to you at home for always choosing Star Times. My name is Mutala Yakubu. Once again, keep enjoying the rest of our programs. Till we meet again tomorrow, it's au revoir. Bye-bye.